running the screw. What the fuck? Uh-oh. That is not good. Wow. Alright, it's getting down to the last one, and it's not. Again. Will not be trusting this magazine. Wow, keeps doing it. Short striking. All right. As you can see from that footage, short strike after short strike after short strike. And like I said, that gun has never had an issue. I've got several thousand rounds through that firearm. So I knew, or I figured it was something dirty on the inside of the slide. It was preventing it, because I know I did change a lot of items in that. But again, I've run this gun through the paces. It shoots. So that's why I wanted to do a follow-up video on this, just in case you were curious on how to clean your slide like I was able to do with mine and get it running right. So without further ado, let's get into it. I needed to clean the gun to stop the short strikes. So I'm going to move everything out of the way here. This is what you're going to need. Hoppy's 9. This is Hoppy's also oil. Some Q-tips. Tool to remove. Tool to remove the backing plate, and this is just extra cleaning utensils. I also have a pick here. I straightened the one end out because it seemed like I could use a straight end more than a curved end on both sides. So one side's straight and the other side's curved. So what you want to do is make sure your gun is clear. There's no magazine in here. There's no bullet in the chamber. I think I have this is a single spring guide rod. Take the barrel out. Okay, so now what you have here, let's move these items out of the way. So you're left with just the slide. So in order to get to these components on the inside, you have to remove this backing plate. To do that, you're going to want to go inside here, right underneath this little tab here. You want to pull down on that. You'll feel the sleeve go down. Then you're able to push this off. There we go. Now I have it captured right here. I'm going to pull this out while leaving my thumb there, because you don't want to lose that, which that looks pretty dirty. The plunger is still in here, right here. So just quick to get that out. Now we're going to take the extractor out and push down. And remove this extractor, which just fell out. Now there is a spring in here. Don't really want to mess with it. This doesn't look too dirty. So these are the components that you get out of it. So you have firing pin, plunger spring, extractor, and plunger. Those are the components that are inside this slide. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our Hoppy's 9 synthetic blend. It's a cleaner inside there. And we're just going to go down inside this hole and clean all inside here. It's clean where the extractor goes. Get it all in there. Got nice and black that is. Now this gun here only has about 1,000 rounds through it. Look how dirty it is. I believe this is the first time I'm cleaning inside here. As you can see how dirty these are. Let's see how dirty the extractor is. Pretty dirty. But not terrible. Put some of this cleaner on it. We'll let it sit. Plunger as well. Don't want to disturb that spring inside there, because it's a pain in the neck to get off. Now I could further take this firing pin apart, but it doesn't look terrible. And really, any carbon was not going to impact the spring on this. I'm not going to take this apart. I think this is good as it is. So that is clean. Same thing with this. This doesn't get too dirty. Just want to wipe it down. Put that aside. I'll check the back of my base plate. That looks to be good. Alright, let's take another clean one. Yeah, so not too dirty. So, and let's also do the plunger. I see some little bit of residue inside there. That looks pretty good. Stay in there, spring, don't pop out. You do replace this plunger. Keep in mind, I don't know how to put that spring back in the correct way, but every time I do, the spring is not seated, which is okay. Like, it's nice it's in here now where it's not going to fall out, but even if it does fall out, you can still put it in the gun without it being seated and it will work. So you just want to clean the inside of this slide. Make sure all the gunk is off. And we'll do a couple more swabs with this. Make sure we're clean. See, there's a little bit of black residue in there. Not much. Just want to clean that out. And all we're doing is we're just trying to prevent inhibition of movement. That's really it. We want to make sure things glide through here nice and smoothly. I mean, as other people have pointed out, I mean, Glocks are pretty dependable, but you also don't want to be negligent either. I mean, this is a tool. This is meant to save my life or the lives of the people I love. Do I want to take a chance on it not operating at 100% efficiency? No. I'm going to do what I can to make sure it's good. Like I said, this is over 1,000 rounds through this gun already. And this is the first time I'm cleaning the inside of here, the inside of the slide. So what happens is, at least as far as my opinion goes, is this firing pin sits down in here, and as it fires, when you pull the trigger, this will pop forward. The plunger's not in there, so I can't exactly do it. But I feel like if there's a lot of residue built up around the plunger, around the firing pin, it's just going to cause friction, which is going to slow the amount of, this is going to pop like this. Boom, boom, boom. It's going to stick out just enough for that pin to hit the back of the bullet. And if there's any buildup inside there, I think it's going to inhibit that spring activation, and you get short strikes. That's what happened with my Glock 17. So we want to make sure it doesn't happen with this, because this is my carry gun. This is not the gun I want. I don't want any of my guns to have these problems. So just part of maintenance, like any other tool. You just want to make sure your tools are in tip-top shape. They're working condition, and you're not going to have any surprises later. So this still has a little residual dirt inside there. Not dirt, but carbon. But it's not bad. Definitely not as bad as my Glock 17, that's for sure. Alright. So now that we have this pretty clean, we're going to lube it and get it ready. Alright, so here's what we're going to do to reinstall all this. What I like to do, I do the barrel last. Let's work on the slide. So what I'm going to do is put a little bit of oil. This is where it comes in contact with your firing pin here. This little piece right here rides on this as you pull the trigger. I don't really need to put any. Let's put a little bit of oil on this extractor. I like my extractor to be coated in oil. It doesn't need to be drenched in oil, but at least coated. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop this back in here. Just sits there just like that. We're going to drop this back in. Now there is a flat face and a round face. If you can see that in there, it looks like a doorway. You have to drop this in, the plunger in, same exact way. What holds that in there is the plunger spring. Now you have a piece of plastic on this side and then a piece of metal on this side. So you want metal to metal, plastic to plastic. Okay? So the black side out. That goes in that little slot right in there. Firing pin, we don't do anything to it. We just stick it in there. Okay. And now we are ready to close this up. You want to get this started. It's hard to do with your fingers. So what you got to do sometimes is use your tool. Okay, see how I got that popped in there? And come in and push this down. Ah, come on. I pulled it out too far. Okay. Alright. Nothing's coming out. Because I've handled this, drop a little bit of oil on this again. Drop a little oil on this. And then we're going to do our rails. For the barrel, I do the lugs. And I put a little bit on here and I use the flat edge of this needle to get up inside here. Do the front of the lugs. And then you're going to do here, this ledge. And you can coat all this in oil, it's fine. The part that's wear is right here in the front and right here in the, or I should say in the back of the barrel and in the front of the barrel. I just coat the whole thing. So then we're going to take our barrel, slide it back in. With the residual grease that's on my fingers, I like to go over the spring. Although I don't think this spring really requires that much maintenance. Oh, it was a struggle. And after you get it all back together, just want to test it, make sure it's working. Alright, hope I don't get banned. I hope you found it useful. Just get yourself some basic tools. It's really not that hard to maintain these firearms. But hopefully you found this useful. Have a great day.